Wrestling Sheet Radio. I'm your host, ProWrestlingSheet.com editor-in-chief, Ryan Satin. I'm here with my co-host, Jamie Iovine.
Hey, guys.
As well as guest co-host, once again, Rachel Sam Evans.
Howdy doody.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
You got the Elijah experience. Now you get the Jamie experience.
I'm blessed. I feel blessed.
You're gonna be quizzed.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Elijah is in Eli. He's in Costa Rica right now.
God knows what.
Yeah, he's on a... He's like a surfer at heart. Like, he's like a real surfer at heart. Not just like someone who surfs.
Yeah.
He's a surfer.
He's a Lord of Dogtown.
Yes.
But on the
if
water.
he could live in one of those Volkswagen, like, big surfer bus things that have like a couch in the back, he would.
Yeah,
Why is that
100%.
so shocking to me? I didn't get
Really?
that vibe at all.
You would... I don't think he... honestly,
Really?
yeah.
I thought that the minute I met him.
No, I am with Rachel that I don't think he emits that energy.
Really?
No.
Well, I think, like,
cool.
you're in a group text with him, too, so, like, you hear him all the time talk about it. We've heard him talk about it, catching Kimmy Gibblers and stuff like that. But I think, like, it's a funny one. Yeah, that's what he calls, like, really
guess
good
so.
waves.
I mean, because
Okay.
he's really more... I mean, he's not so much... Yeah.
He wears, like, Patagonia. Yeah.
Well, no, what's funny is that my two co-producers are at a different thing are both like that, and so I think I'm just like so used to that, like hearing that all the time that I
Yeah.
don't associate. They're definitely not surfers.
You know,
Well, you know what? Also, it's a little bit different, too, because he's a writer.
Yeah.
So, like...
He's articulate.
Yeah, he's so articulate, and he well-formed thoughts. And I'm not saying surfers don't passionate, but
Yeah.
normally surfers are much more laid back. Like Eli, laid back is not the term that you would use to describe Eli.
I picture Matt Riddle when I picture surfers,
Yeah,
and that's just not what I was looking at.
No.
By the way, does Matt Riddle even surf?
I don't know
I
if
don't
he does.
know.
I don't think he
Wouldn't
does.
that be a buzzkill if he didn't?
I feel like he probably doesn't.
I've never seen anything on his socials about him surfing.
Now that you
Well, he
mention
doesn't
it,
live
look
where
that
there's an
up.
accessible... Oh, well, now he will.
Now he will.
Now he will.
Matt
Maybe he's going to have to
Riddle.
learn.
He is so good.
surfing.
He's so good. His little feats.
I
Oh my
mean,
God.
you can't plan. I mean, because you can't. You really can't. You can't plan him kicking off the slides perfectly on his debut at NXT Takeover in LA, and then landing completely perfectly right in front of the camera. Literally, like it's like he aimed.
must have.
I don't know how he did it. Like the sandal literally landed
I
perfect
know.
shot right at like eye level.
And
at
that
the camera.
hair flip that he did, and just like, yeah, look
Yeah.
at me.
I would think that if he surfs,
You just think
there'd be
that,
one
though.
picture on the internet. Like if I type in Matt Riddle surfing,
There should be at least more
there
than
should be
one.
one
Yeah, but-
video or picture. I never even
It
thought
feels
about
like
that.
it feels like he's
He doesn't.
projecting. He's projecting an image. Like I look like this, so people think I'm interesting, and so works for me. I'm projecting an image, and
Okay,
so
fair
maybe
enough.
he's like, I just need to give the impression that I'm this cool dude. Maybe he's really neurotic. Maybe he has severe OCD. Every day he
Man,
gets
that'd
home,
be a
and
bummer.
he like lines up all of his toy cars in a row, and like he that would be interesting. I'm here for that Matt Riddle story.
No, I don't want that Matt Riddle story.
Why?
No, he's because I like the Matt Riddle. I like Spicoli. You know,
I like the fact that there are people out there like a real life Spicoli that could really exist. That's really
me too.
how-
I think that's why I like that image of him so
Yeah,
much.
I
yeah,
get
that
that.
their brains really function that way.
I think
You know?
I think I've developed such a love for him that I want him to be large and contain multitudes.
Well, I
Like
think
he owes me $25, and I just don't even care. Like, because he's so like
I also feel like-
you
stonery,
should
vibe.
hit him up about that.
I have been.
He probably can get it to you now.
I have been.
I think there's now. Forgive me if I'm wrong here, but I do sense. So for where I'm going with this thought, I do sense a little bit of a girl crush on Matt Riddle coming from you.
You know what? No
well,
sexual crush.
Didn't think that. I
Okay.
didn't think that.
Okay.
But what I am saying is that you are a fan of his and you think he's pretty great. So you're trying to find there's got to be a flaw here.
You know what? I want him to be realer to me because even though I've been going to PWG for 5 years, so I've obviously seen him like close. He's sweated on me, but I am still in awe of him. And there's only like very few wrestlers that I feel that way about still. And I can't talk to him. Like,
really?
I
Because
can't-
he's like one of the most approachable wrestlers in the history of wrestling.
We literally talked about this gaming screen he brought to set one time at MLW for 2 hours.
Yeah,
He
we literally
just
like talked about
has-
those random stuff before, like at a PWG show, like outside of it. And I normally am not the one who hangs around after to talk to the wrestlers.
Yeah.
He and I just like we'll just run into each other in the front or something like that. He's like the nicest, most approachable person ever.
Listen, like I don't know what my problem is. I'm not. starstruck. I'm not. There's certain wrestling for me is a very nostalgic thing, and there are very few people that I still am like, oh, you're making me feel like I'm 6 years old, like, and you're a superhero, and if I talk to you, I'm gonna ruin it, and I don't want to ruin it.
I 100% understand that. I have that with a lot of wrestlers.
But
too.
he is also. But
I'm like that with Bandito, honestly.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Wow, look at you.
Yeah, I mean, there is a whole saying, never meet your heroes.
I know you're super friendly with Bray Wyatt, but I feel like I'd be that way around Bray
So
Wyatt.
am I.
Like,
Well,
I'd be
not
like
super
real,
friendly.
I'd be real like, I'd be real like the same way where I'd be like, oh, this guy is like a scary,
But
like,
the thing
backwoods dude.
With Bray, you like him more when you meet him.
I met him once because there's like we have some mutual friends and we're into the same stuff, like serial killer stuff.
Yeah.
Same
And
weird
so-
stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And so our mutual Baron Corbin, our mutual friend,
Who also loves weird stuff.
Oh my goodness, he is the most interesting person on this planet, and I will like put him over anytime I can. I love that guy. He's amazing. He collects shrunken heads. How cool is that?
Oh no, I know. My girlfriend, like Erica, she
Yeah.
loves that kind of stuff. And I remember when she was at TMZ, she tried to do a story.
Erica's gonna kill Ryan one day. I'm just still convinced. Like it's gonna happen. We're gonna find your like skinned corpse like on the roofs or something like
People
that.
who love
She's gonna be
murder.
wearing you as a suit.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
But she tried to do a story, I remember, on Baron Corbin buying like something real weird.
Yeah.
And she like reached out to the store and they were like, no, Baron won't let us you can't do a story on it type thing. 'Cause he's like real private, which I thought was cool. Like, she won't like that I say that, but it's cool that he's like super private about his weird shit collection. I like that. That's cool.
It's for him,
Yeah,
you know,
it's for
and
him.
I love that. But so yeah, look, he introduced us like a couple years ago, and I had the same thing, Ryan, where I was just like, I love Rob Zombie, and so his whole gimmick, I was like, I love this, and I was really nervous to talk to him. I thought that he was going to judge me for like not knowing enough. I guess I don't know. People are like that, and
I get it.
whatever.
Yeah, totally.
And he immediately was like, "Dude, you like Rob Zombie? I like Rob Zombie."
Yeah.
Oh, it was great.
He's a good old country boy. He really is.
God.
While we're talking about Bray Wyatt, we have to mention because I don't think there's no reason to talk the full topic of it, but
Easy for you to say.
yeah, that's a mouthful. Did either of you guys watch the Edge and Christian show this week?
No,
No, but I
I'm
heard it
doing
was
that.
great.
No, it's on my docket. Doing it as soon as I get home. I swear to God, I'm ready to rock for it. Why don't they do the full seasons upload like every other streaming service?
I'm okay with it.
I want binge watching.
It's because
I
they
get
don't
that.
have to.
It's because they don't. That
They
is
don't
the
have
reason.
to.
Here's
They
the
don't
thing:
have
they're
to.
an insular company, and so all of their production is in-house, or like they. This is too technical; it doesn't matter, and this is just also me assuming, but I think I get it. But all of their production's in-house, so they only have so much content.
Yeah.
And so they have to be like, "Ooh, you're gonna wait for it," but
That's
just because they're like, "I don't have anything else to give you."
I was gonna say the exact same thing. Like, at least it gives you a reason for the next 8 weeks to come to the
that's
network.
It's more of a
for
selfish
not
wish. It's more of a
NXT.
selfish wish, but
yeah.
I mean,
Or I don't know how long.
I
it is.
get it.
mean,
I just think it's
arbitrary.
I just think it's so funny that like I know where they do it. They filmed the entire thing out of 120 Hamilton, which is down the road from the main building. And I just think that I feel like they could just knock a bunch of episodes out.
Oh, easily. I think that's why it kind of sprung up out of nowhere. Of like, hey, the whole they didn't have like a few weeks notice. It was like shows returning after Raw tonight out of nowhere. No advance notice, no build up, no nothing. But regardless, it was so funny. You guys have to watch it.
I'm
It seems like they got a lot more people involved this time.
Did you watch the season 1?
Yeah. I
Okay.
did. Yes.
So was it mainly season 1 for the most part? Edge and Christian who were in it?
Mostly, and then it was some older guys. Nobody in the crowd. Very few. There were some like Bray read the bedtime story. Bailey did something.
They did a prank thing, I think, with the New Day or something like that.
But it was very. No, the New Day. That was Swerve.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
okay.
I'm all confused.
Which I liked more personally. I liked Swerve, but Swerve would have been great if they let Jeff Tremaine be Jeff Tremaine.
True.
It would have been amazing.
I liked Swerve. Swerve season 2 sucked. Swerve season 1 was funny.
Yes, but because you know why? You could tell that WWE was hampering Jeff Tremaine's creativity.
Especially in season 2. And it was
Yeah.
like, oh, now the superstars are
We're
pranking
bringing
people.
back the electric shock stool again?
Yeah.
You wild and crazy kids.
No, the Edge and Christian thing, though, I didn't watch... I watched parts of last season, but I definitely didn't watch the whole thing.
It was mostly them.
This one was like had like Samoa Joe in it.
I saw that clip, which I love.
Was it
so
was
funny.
it's still contained to that studio though?
Well, the Samoa Joe one, I don't know if you saw that clip I tweeted, but it's so funny. It's out of the studio, and it's probably outside of the studio,
Probably
but
somewhere in Stamford.
It's probably literally a parking lot, but it's a adult Girl Scout standing there, and she's selling Girl Scout cookies, and Samoa Joe comes driving up, and he's blaring his own theme song as he pulls up like in a Jeep, and he's like, "Hey, Victoria, like, I thought I told you, like, I run these streets," or something along
Basically,
those
like
lines.
he's a pimp of cookies.
It's
Oh,
very
that's funny.
it's
Like,
very
get off
much
my
like,
block.
It's
Oh,
very
that's
much
real
like
funny.
the Wayne Brady skit from from Chappelle Show back in the day, but with Samoa Joe and Girl Scout cookies, and because so yeah, and he like tells the girl like, "Hey, Victoria, like, come here and put a cookie in my mouth," and like she comes over and like puts the cookie in his mouth, and he's like,
That's
real
the best
pimp.
part of the whole thing.
It's so funny.
That's my favorite line. I want that on a
and then he
t-shirt.
also, because they're Samoas, he's only selling Samoas.
Finally, they realized that. Jesus.
I know. I've been waiting for that joke forever.
Jesus.
And he's only selling Samoas, and someone comes up and they go like, "Oh, I'll take like 4 boxes or something like that," and he's like, "Oh, cool, yeah, great." And he goes to hand the box, and they're like, "Oh, no, I'm looking for the peanut butter ones. Samoas are shit." And he's like, "Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. Let me take you to the peanut butter ones." And he like he's like, "I put him over here." And he takes him over to the driver's seat door, and he shoves the guy's head, and he just starts slamming the car door on the guy's head and murders him for talking shit on Samoas.
He murders him.
Yeah, he's dead. He's definitely dead.
The guy's definitely dead. He literally, you just see Samoa Joe like, "Ah, ah."
And then a limp body.
And then the guy that just walks away like, "Job well done" type thing.
I love that.
It's so good.
Do we know who's writing for Edge and Christian?
It's got to be largely Edge and Christian who are doing it.
Yeah.
It's so weird. You can tell just from watching it. It's like their weird humor.
I love
And maybe
that.
if they had a writer that's
Yeah.
still on the team that they are friendly with, that still like gets their humor.
Yeah.
Like it also, I know you're going to watch it and you can help, but it's so funny. The last segment is the Good Brothers, and they're selling like, it's something like they're selling like energy suppositories, and the reason like the suppositories are filled with energy is because they're filled with Goldberg's piss from the 90s. And they talk about how like someone kept Goldberg's piss all this time, and like they put it in the suppository, and then it shows Carl Anderson shoving it up Luke Gallows' ass, like it's like all blurred out, but he's like, and you see like Gallows like, it's.
I
How
mean,
do they allow this?
It's crazy. That's why I'm saying you guys have to watch it, because it's so like I watched parts of last season. It was not this.
I mean,
wild.
there's. I almost wish I will not find out the context of the Bray Wyatt quote, because I don't know. Because did you see the retweet where he says, I will never know the joys of having a child because I don't have a vagina."
He said vagina so funny.
He said vagina.
It's so funny.
Something like along those lines.
It's no, that's 100%. When he says for China, I was like,
for China.
I was, and I didn't want to like be, when I was posting, because I was already laughing. I didn't want to be a dick and call him out. Like I was like, I don't need to be a dick. Like, I just thought it was funny, not being a dick. Like I don't want to like look like I was calling him out. So then when you said it, I was like, oh, thank God it wasn't just me that noticed. He said that. He said vagina.
I do not have a vagina.
Here, listen.
There are certain things I'll never know. I'll never know what it actually feels like to have a baby because I don't have a vagina.
It's funny even in audio with no video.
He 10 out of 10 meant to say that. You don't just say vagina.
That's what Erica said too. She was like,
He
"There's
has a
no
wife,
way."
doesn't
He had one, and now he's an ex-wife, and now
Yeah,
he's with
he was
JoJo.
Well, he has a JoJo.
He's got a JoJo
Who definitely has one.
who has a vagina.
At least knows how to pronounce it.
Yeah, Erica didn't buy it. That's just how he said
No,
vagina either. Yeah.
Man,
No.
I forgot he was with JoJo. Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for her.
She's well put together. Good for him.
You know what? And he's got a great person. He's got a great whole thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to say. Everything felt
That
weird.
seems like that would be your type.
Bray Wyatt?
Yeah.
I have no type. I do not
I
have
ain't
a
got
type.
no type.
I have no type.
No type?
Not a type in the world.
Well, you kind of had similar tastes to Erica in terms of like, I'm trying to think of the right word without being
Idiots?
like no. I was gonna say more like gruff dudes. Like,
well, you know, if you're an investment banker, I bet you're not gonna like me. So, like, you know, like if you're like holding down a crew cut, I can't imagine that you're gonna look at me and be like, "That's a viable option." You know,
that's a fair point. Fair enough.
I'm great with moms, dudes with crew cuts, and I'm looking to have a baby.
I like how you said that while rolling your eyes, though. Like,
Have
you're not
a
sure
baby.
about it.
I'm pissed about it.
Because I indeed have a vagina.
I was just gonna you beat me to it.
Because
damn
I'm
it.
able to, because I have a vagina.
Okay, so we didn't get to do a show last week because of the holidays, obviously, and I think that the biggest thing going on in wrestling right now is all this talk of everything related to All Elite Wrestling. It's the trademarks that were recently filed by the Elite, you know, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and, you know, there had been these reports prior to, you know, because when I posted the story, it was like right before the holidays. So, and then I took a few days off because I was going to deal with Thanksgiving. So, prior to that, there had been talk of Chris Jericho and Jim Ross. Apparently, they were working with the Khan family, who own the Jacksonville Jaguars and I believe a Premier League team as well. I'm not super good with soccer stuff, but they're billionaires. They're very rich, and the son of the guy who's the patriarch of the family, his name is Tony Khan, and he's part owner of the Jaguars as well. Huge wrestling fan, though. Like, if you go look at his page, he follows every wrestler. He's a big wrestling fan. Like, dressed up Macho... One of those guys who, as all of us have done, dressed up as Macho Man Randy Savage for Halloween status. You know you're a real wrestling fan when you've done that at least once.
I mean, two of the three of us in this room have.
Totally.
And, I mean, like, I've been Miss Elizabeth.
There you go. So there you go. So
bases covered.
There we go. We're all covered. I've had so many girlfriends that I tried to get dressed as Miss Elizabeth.
It's such an easy
Hater
I know,
ass girlfriends.
but they never understood it. They didn't get like why the Macho Man needs his Miss Elizabeth in the costume. It doesn't. If you don't watch wrestling, it doesn't.
Hater ass girlfriend.
So okay.
Yeah.
So they filed trademarks. So like I said, okay. So prior to the trademarks, pause on the trademarks. It had been Jericho and Jim Ross were the ones everyone was talking about. And then after that, a bunch of trademark filings went down where it kind of shed light and made things go from rumored to like something that looks like it's actually happening. The trademarks were something called Double or Nothing, which was alluded to at the end of All In. There's another event that they filed a trademark for called All Out. There was something for All Elite Wrestling, all that kind of stuff. And the kind of smoking gun was the address listed on all these trademark filings, and that was the stadium for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And that was when people were like, oh, okay, well, this isn't just a rumored thing anymore. This is something that actually is happening, you know? So, I started working on it. I started looking into it, and from what I am told, it's not a Jericho and Jim Ross thing. It is a Young Bucks and Cody thing that they are working on what they want to do after their Ring of Honor contracts expire. They all expire at the end of December. That's why there's that countdown clock going on being the Elite.
It. Okay.
Oh, I like how it all came together in Jamie's mind there.
I still want to know who the guys that point at Marty's girl and say mean things about people. I still don't understand that one. That's the one inside joke on being the Elite I just don't get.
I still love it though. It cracks me up.
But I'm not against it. I don't hate it. I just don't know what it is.
You do kind of hate it a little bit.
Because I don't know what it is.
I was going to say because it makes you so mad that you don't get the inside joke
factor. I don't.
I mean,
I want to be part of it. Like, I get every single other reference, and now I get the ticking clock. But now I didn't.
That's why we like the Elite, because we'll never be a part of it.
Yeah.
That's like that Ron Swanson quote from Parks and Rec where he's like, if people are getting too chummy with me, I like to pretend like I don't know their name and call them by a different name to remind them that they'll never be friends with me. And that's kind of what this is. You'll never know.
Yeah.
And it didn't start as a wrestling related thing either. It was like, weren't they like record executives at first?
It seemed like to me, when I first saw them do it, it wasn't by no means the first time they had done it, but when the first time I saw them do it, it seemed to me like they were trying to be like smarmy WWE writers, like trying to tell them what they think they should do.
Well, no, but it started on the show as them being Marty's, the record execs that wanted to sign Marty to a deal when he was doing all that like Backstreet Boys stuff, and then he was gonna leave the group, and it seemed like I got the vibe that it was NXT related because they were trying to sign Marty away from the group.
Like it seemed like they were supposed to be WWE people, because you notice every time they do a WWE character, it's always from the back.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously,
like H right now.
Yeah,
which is so obviously Frankie Kazarian.
Yeah, like clearly
every time, and I love that they go full force with it. They're like, "What?"
Like they even he even turns his head a lot of the time to see his profile.
this week, I thought the same thing. It was this week. Yes. Yeah, no, it was this week. He fully turned his head. Like I was like, they just showed his face right there. They didn't even try on this one to hide it. So the trademark docs had the address to the Jacksonville Jaguars Stadium, and I just want to put this out there that's a lot.
Jaguars Stadium is a lot of people.
Well, what I was gonna say is they would have put a lot of effort into this if they were just trying to fuck with everybody. Like if they were just trying to mess with everybody.
Wait, so I'm sorry.
They'd have to like take out trademark. Like that's crazy.
You could spend money, the trademark lawyers, especially to go find the trademark lawyers that the Jacksonville Jaguars have used. They don't. Yeah,
they don't have that money.
I also don't think they would put that much effort into trying to work people that I think, from what I heard, they were just like, I don't think anyone will find that, because it'd be hard to find that. Like I look at those sometimes. You would have to know what to be searching. Like you couldn't just search Elite.
Yeah.
Like you can, but there's so many Elite-related trademarks. Like you would have to know what you were looking for, like what they were planning to name the company. So
how did that get leaked?
It was a random. I think it was WrestlingNews.co who did it. And
interesting.
Yeah, and they just had an inside line to what was going on, and then I started working on it, and it was like, no, this is a Cody and the Bucks thing, and like I said, the countdown clock is ticking because their contracts are up at the end of December. From what it seems like, and I don't know this 100%, it seems like they're not going back to Ring of Honor. Like it would be silly if they did at this point. You know,
they're worth way more money now.
Totally, and in this interview, so before I get to the interview, actually, so I want to talk about the Chris Jericho and Jim Ross stuff. So, I also thought it never made sense to have Chris Jericho and Jim Ross. Like, why would they have been leading the helm at something like this when Cody and the Bucks are the ones leading the charge?
No, what that is just like game appreciating game, and then a WWE universe that is like conditioned to think a certain way, looking at that and assuming that these very capable men need older capable men who have done it longer to succeed in this thing, which is just not the case, and that's a very WWE mentality.
I felt the same way looking at it.
You see Jericho and Jim Ross together with them, and you can't just be like, wow, they appreciate pro wrestling. You have to like immediately assume that this is a business ploy.
Well, and it's even that where people go like, well, they can't make a viable wrestling company.
They don't need dads to do this. Like, they did it by themselves, and they will continue to do it by themselves.
And everyone, I mean, it was about a year ago now. It was like this week when I broke the story on the fact that they were working on, when they were scouting locations for All In, they were going to run an event called All In, that the pieces were all coming together for it. So it's been about a year now. And I remember when I broke that story, I remember everyone going like, there's no way those guys can sell a 10,000 seat arena. Like, there's no way. They work at ROH. ROH doesn't do that, so why would they be able to do that? I remember all that. It was huge. It was everywhere. Everyone was talking about the story when we broke it, and it was like, they can't do it. And then they sold it out so quickly that I go, there's no way. And I remember also in Chris Jericho on the interview he did with the Elite on his cruise, he basically said that, like, when he was being driven to All In, he like came over a hill and he saw just how many cars were there and how many people were actually attending this event, and he was like, whoa, these guys may be the key to arenas being able to sell out outside of WWE and wrestling. And if he feels that way, I guarantee you he wants to be involved with them going forward. He loves not having to work for WWE and making money.
Well, I think that like if you just pay attention to the timeline, you'll see that it's the exact opposite of what everyone purported. It's that Chris Jericho was inspired by these dudes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And left to to help them or just to be around that kind of energy and to create his own thing.
I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
One of Jericho's talents has always been to be able to recognize what's next and what's coming, and that's what's kept him so evergreen, even close to 50 years old. And I think he's. I mean, you didn't have to be a genius to feel this wave coming. You don't, but
you have to not have an ego about it.
Yes, and Jericho was willing to go to go perform in front of. Even though yes, he's doing the Tokyo Dome on his off days. He's doing All In, which was 12 close to 13,000 people. But he's also willing to go do stuff like reportedly he may go do stuff for Impact. He's willing to go outside of the gigantic globe that is that WWE is and forever will be. They'll always be that. They'll always be Coca-Cola, and this whole thing that's going on right now is the next logical step for them, because in my opinion, if they were to say, for instance, WWE threw every single like I said, yes to whatever conditions they said, get whatever you want. You guys each get a jet. You guys each get whatever accommodations you want. It would go against everything that they had just laid down for the past few years. The whole sense that wrestling is for everybody.
Yeah.
It would erase everything.
They talked about it. We put up this interview today on the site. They did their first interview after all of this with Petey Williams, who's an Impact Wrestling producer, former wrestler, still a wrestler, but former Impact wrestler. And on his podcast, Petey's Wrestling Perspective, which you guys, it's a good show. I recommend it. Go check it out. I think by now it's probably up on their podcast feed. But they talked to them all about it, and I'm with you that it wouldn't have made sense, and they're talking about how the opposition, not the opposition, they were talking about how they inspired hope within people, they inspired hope within wrestlers that there is success in wrestling outside. There can be success in wrestling outside of WWE, and I think that they're showing even old school wrestlers that who didn't think that, Jericho included. I mean, look how long he's been loyal to WWE.
And they're also getting a lot of these old school guys. They're slowly converting a lot of these old school guys. Look at All In. Starcast. It was nothing but old guys. It was nothing but guys that these guys loved, and they were like, "Can you please be a part of our wrestling convention?"
Because it's pro wrestling again. It's.
And I also think it's silly for people for the people who have scoffed at the fact that they could sell out a 10,000 seat arena to scoff at the idea that these guys could start a company that is competition to WWE. We've been talking. I think it's been pretty out there, pretty known that the indie community has been on the rise for a while. That. It's really it's hotter than it's ever been. The indie community is a more viable career for wrestlers than it's ever been. They're making tons of money.
In some cases, better than a lot of careers that some people on the main roster have.
Oh, for sure.
Well, I don't know what the main roster.
Yeah.
Okay. So say for
NXT.
Instance,
yes, NXT.
No.
Yes.
No, I would also say the main roster when you're dealing with some people in the indie community. Absolutely.
Well, yeah, okay. Yes, there are people
You're
the
forgetting
top
that people...
the top upper echelon of indie wrestling, yes. But
still,
that's
the
great.
fact that you can do that and not have to rely on one company. I'm not going to say work for the man, because whatever. We all love WWE. It will be forever what it is.
Yeah.
But
up, down guest over here doesn't want to mess things up.
Hey, I want to be. I wish I was a.
She's like, hey.
Love you guys very much. I do respect it. That being said, I obviously my deal is indie shit.
Totally.
100%.
Totally.
But we're in the age of access, and the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and that whole group of people have utilized their platform in a way that we see. And the people who are saying, no, they'll never make it. YouTube is a career. I've been a YouTuber for the past 3 years. You know how dumb that is? That's a dumb job. And I get to do that for a career. And I bet that any person that you asked or said that to 2 years ago would have told me that I was crazy.
Dude, if you look at some of the money YouTubers make, dude.
Not me, but some.
No, like you'll not anymore, but like the Jake Paul and Logan Paul, or that girl.
Still making a lot of money.
Yeah, but what's that other girl who just recently
Ninja, the Fortnite player dude, makes $500K a week.
That's crazy. I watched that one thing where that little kid I was telling you guys about a few weeks ago.
The toy reviewer kid?
Toy reviewer kid.
Oh, yeah.
What's his name?
Not Maddie.
Something opens toys or whatever.
I like him.
Yeah, I like he's cute.
That kid makes millions of dollars.
Well, his parents do.
Well, yeah, that family makes millions of dollars.
But that's what I'm saying is that these people are just doing the same thing. They have the same platform, if not greater than these people that we see having great success. So why not make it a business? They're making it a business. They're not just saying like, oh, well, like we're going to stick it to the man. It doesn't. If you try to create something good out of a place of bad, then it'll always fail. But I think that they truly and honestly believe that they're changing wrestling, and they are. And because of that, that's motivating them to create an actually good business for people who want to love it already. They're in a great position.
I think that's exactly what they're thinking too.
Yeah.
And like you said, just it would be such like a spit in the face to everyone who followed them if they were like, all right, thanks for all your support, everyone. Now we're going to WWE. Like, it'd be like, wait, but we were all with you. Like, we're all with you. And that's why I think there's no way. Of course they're going to start their own company. When you walked around.
Have you guys seen that? It's like, have you guys seen that South Park episode, the Ginger episode?
The one where
Yes, and remember at the very end where Cartman's trying to lead this whole ginger revolution, Kyle tells him that he's not a real ginger, and Cartman's like, we should all be real nice to the non-gingers. That's exactly what it would be.
Totally.
It's like, well, we should all be pro WWE now.
Yeah, they're not so bad, right? Because like if they
they're
did
ripping
do
up
that,
cease and desist offers. No, it's fine. Everything's cool.
I don't think that they would ever like fully curry favor. Like I don't think that they would ever do something unless it was like murder or something terrible. But do something that would make everyone turn against him. Because if anything, like people would be excited that they get easy access to them on a weekly basis. But if they did take a job at the WWE, that is only for money.
And I gotta think deep down, if he still thinks this way, I don't know, he's older in his age now, but if he still thinks the way he used to, you gotta think Vince has gotta be a little excited at the thought.
I would think so too.
I hope so.
I honestly, Jamie, I would think the exact same thing.
He's
He's
such an alpha too, and he wants competition. He hasn't had competition in decades.
And he's at the twilight.
He's bought all of it.
And imagine if he's like, holy shit. Because he's got to have...
And it's Dusty Rhodes' son!
I was just going to say that. And it's someone...
Such a good comeback story. It's
under
crazy.
his nose the whole time. It's the son of a guy he never truly respected what he's done in the industry. Like everyone else did, And so, yeah, I think the exact same thing, that he's got to be like, shit.
This motherfucker.
Okay. And his friends.
Let's go.
And his friends who I threatened to sue. All right.
Let's go.
Let's do this, motherfuckers. Like, yeah, I did the same thing about it.
That popped me so hard. That almost made me cry. Wow.
It's a great story.
It really is. It's such a good story.
And I look at it and I go like, because everyone walking around All In, there is not a person after that event, at the after party and everything, walking around who was not saying to each other, dude, they got to start their own company. There was not one person. I didn't talk to one person at that show who was like, well, they better go back to WWE, or they better go sign with WWE after that. No, everyone was like, dude, they have to start their own company. So it makes sense, and I think that, I'm a firm believer in you just need that gas to pour on a fire, and they got that spark. Like All In was that spark. They sold out an arena with not a lot of publicity except for their own
matches
machine.
announced.
No matches announced. Just their machine behind it. Just the fact that they're going to be there, they were able to sell out an arena. To me, if I were a billionaire, I would be the same way. Like, dude, let's pour some gas on this and make this a huge thing. Like, it makes all of the sense in the world. Wildfire status.
I do hope, not to be a little idiot about it, but I do hope that if this does become a thing, they pay a little bit more attention to representation on their cards, is all I will say.
Fair enough.
In was not great.
That's fair. That's a fair criticism. That's a fair criticism.
There was
one match.
One women's match, and then Jordan. Yeah.
Well, you mean just for women's sake?
Yes. I do mean for women's sake.
I didn't know if you meant like color.
I'm
I
speaking
didn't know if you
from
meant
my-
people of color as
Oh,
well.
there's
or
plenty
just
of
women.
people of color all
they're
over
good
the
at
card.
that.
Yeah, that's why I was asking.
I'm speaking from my
Yeah,
vagina.
women. Yeah.
I'm speaking from my vagina.
From my
The vagina
vagina,
murmurers.
and this is not
Well,
like
and
a
to be
toilet
fair,
flush. This is
Brandy is a main character on Being the Elite.
Yeah,
So
but
we
she
got
barely
four.
she barely wrestles on the card.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying she is
exactly.
a main character of the
No,
show.
no, no.
I mean, not to
saying-
say that she shouldn't.
I'm not
Brandy's
saying
great.
that they're not doing anything wrong. Like I'm not. It's not even anything I tweeted about, which is like, oh, good for you, Rachel. But
No.
it's not like it's just as a woman, as a virgin,
That's a vagina.
it something that makes me the most happy about current wrestling is that I get to see me in there.
Totally.
Yeah, women
And,
are
like,
kicking ass in indies right now.
They really are. And also, like women of color in the indies is like they're so amazing, especially on Women of Wrestling. Which is interesting because it's a little questionable with the soft pink lighting and the like dazzler tit stuff. That's fine. I love boobs. What are we talking about? Great. Happy to be here, Ryan.
I don't know, but you said the
No,
word boobs, so now
I did.
Jamie's not going to pay attention to the rest of the
We're
show.
just thinking about boobs.
He's just in his
No.
head the rest of the show now. I picture like Homer, where he's just got a thought bubble here.
And boobs.
I'm
He's
in
got
my-
butts and boobs on one each side.
I see them
That's me
in
all
my
day.
head movies.
To be fair, that's also
Am I
me
gonna
all
get?
day.
Am
and
I gonna
can't-
get called out on Twitter now for the for the Simple Jack reference?
As long as you don't dress up like him as we do the show, you're okay. But no, I mean, I
Women of
understand your
Wrestling-
point totally.
Women of Wrestling, and I think if you're like, well, I don't know where they are, watch Women of Wrestling, and then there they
Well,
are.
it's not out yet. It
There
hasn't
you
aired
go.
yet.
But
Oh,
no,
what,
so
really?
no,
Oh, wow.
I totally.
Did you watch a screener? Is that what it was?
No, I went to it.
Well, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I think they start airing in January.
Yay, I'm
Yeah, I went to one of the
excited.
tapings too. I liked it.
But to your point, it's not like you're not complaining, you're not
No.
bitching.
No,
It's-
no,
yeah.
no.
It's a very 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 fair, like of
Especially
course-
if they have money to pay talent like
It's
an
a
actual
very
roster and not just
fair-
ask their friends for favors.
I mean, in the
Right.
back of my head, I was shocked that there was only one women's match. I mean, to be fair, they had a very short period of time.
They did.
and
they
they
did.
put
And
Penelope over huge in another match too.
Yes.
Sure, yeah. It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to tweet about, but it was enough to say, hey guys, if we're like in a room together workshopping ideas, maybe
Next time.
maybe consider. Also, something that I did tweet recently and that I will say again, if they do make this a business, look around at your team, and if you all look the same, then maybe consider bringing somebody else who does not look exactly like you
Yep.
to give an opinion on the thing that you're going to show to thousands, hundreds of thousands of people.
No, I completely agree with you on that.
Yeah.
On
Right
that
on that
front.
one. That's any business.
And they
Any
do,
business,
and I
yeah.
do think Brandy's involved with them with all that stuff, and Dana, and
Good.
so like their wives are involved.
yeah, there's some
with all that as
strong
well.
women behind
Oh,
those
for
men.
sure,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. Yeah, they're no shrinking flowers, but like, it would be.
Yes, no, totally. I'm not
good to
disagreeing
see.
with you. I 100% agree with you. Yeah, no, that
Yeah.
shit's important. That shit's very important.
Yeah.
And I do think that.
Because this could be something amazing.
Well,
Absolutely.
Look at like the last time. There's only in my mind, since my time of watching wrestling, there have been 2 billionaires to get involved in the wrestling industry. One of them was Ted Turner, who created a company that people still talk about. You know, well, he didn't. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say he created it. He didn't create it. But you guys know what I mean. Like
Commissioned it?
he was a big part of getting WCW to be what it became. You know, he poured the gas, so to speak, on the fire, and so. Because he had the money, and then after that was the Carter family, like Dixie Carter family, and TNA is still pumping.
The Carter
because of
family's a
Impact
billionaire?
Family. They were very, very rich. Yeah,
Billionaires?
They might have been.
The Carter.
That's a lot of millions. Billions is a lot
that's
of
a
millions.
lot of money.
No, because they have that energy company, like they're what's
They have an energy company?
Yeah,
News to me.
No,
Whoa.
it's the Dixie Carter's family is extremely rich.
Oh, I believe it, but $1 billion?
I'm trying to remember. Now
Yeah,
I have to pull it up.
billion is
That's an elite class, my friend.
sure is.
Someone over here.
Shut up, Ryan.
Someone over here like calling cares about the exact few numbers there. Okay.
At a certain point, it starts mattering.
Wait, let me see now because now I am.
I'm
wondering.
curious. I'm super curious. Because
it's-
also, if you are a billionaire, like, can't you make it a little better?
Yeah, and can you keep the company going longer? Well, can you keep the name the same for more than 5 years?
No, I don't think they can. Impact's really, I really dig what Impact's
Panda
doing right
Energy, that's the name.
Panda Energy?
It was
I've
driving me
never heard
crazy.
of that. How could they be
Panda
billionaires?
Energy
Yeah, well,
is
you
an
know.
American privately held company headquartered in Dallas, which constructs
Dallas.
Wow, this-
Oil money? Oil money.
Now we're going to find out about the history of this company.
Panda Energy International is worth over $4 billion.
Yeah, but that's not liquid. That's not our family.
So altogether, the company has raised over $4.9 billion to develop and build more than 9,000 megawatts of generating capacity.
Oh, energy. I thought you said energy.
You thought it was like energy drink?
Yes. I was like, what?
Yeah, they make Bang energy drinks.
I was like, there's no way they're billionaires off of that. Okay, they're an energy company. Okay, then that makes a lot more sense. I was like,
Yeah,
what?
that does make a lot of sense.
Wait, did you also think it was energy drinks?
I'd like to not comment.
No, I know that there's no energy drink. You're like,
Red
I've
Bull,
never.
maybe.
Now when you say
Red Bull, maybe.
maybe I like
Monster.
Now I get,
Maybe.
Yeah.
maybe. But now I get why you said like I've never heard of energy.
And-
Like
I know all the energy companies.
I drink energy drinks all the time, and I've never heard of Panda Energy.
I was just really picking up on your vibe, and I was like, yeah, I agree. This is not that you cannot make $1 billion from an energy drink company. Ryan. I do have a very serious conspiracy that, like, what is up? It's not a conspiracy, it's a conspiracy query. What is up with all these wrestlers toting the Bang energy drink?
I don't know.
Really?
They
I thought
keep
it,
pushing it.
I thought it was Monster across the board.
Bang energy. SoCal independent wrestlers all. Here I am at the gym with my Bang energy drink. What's that?
I will
know.
say this: the entire locker room at Championship Wrestling all drink Bang.
Bang?
Yeah,
They
What
do.
is it?
They do. Now that I think about it, yeah.
But
they
you've
do.
never heard of it until you see like a random Southern California wrestler drinking it. And
Someone probably sent it to
And they
them.
have
Their Instagram
creatine. I don't like
stories.
them because they have creatine in them. It's like you
Really?
want to add mass while you're getting energy.
That sounds like too much.
Wait,
It says
what?
there's creatine in it.
What?
Yeah, look, I'll show you.
Well, that might explain that might give you your answer there.
Well, that does make a lot of sense. I get
Yeah.
that now. It's
Now-
like you can
now
bulk
it-
up
yeah.
and stay energized, like G Fuel.
sounds right. I don't
know.
work out. I don't know.
I'm hi.
Yeah.
Hello?
It's on the label. Super creatine.
Super creatine.
Super creatine.
Mega J baby drinks.
Because that's what it does. Because creatine just fills you with water to make your muscles bigger.
Okay, well that makes sense now.
I'm pissed that I drank one once.
Now you're jacked.
I'm
Oh,
jacked.
no wonder you're so fucking strong.
Honestly, I am very strong.
I believe you.
I am.
It's
I'm
that
pretty
bang.
I believe, yeah, it's all the bang you've been drinking.
Yeah, you're right. That's my secret. What if you asked, like, there's like a very serious athlete and you're like, what's your secret? Like, what's your regimen? He's like, oh, I just drink a ton of Bang energy. I fill myself up with water weight. It's like a water bed. You punch it, you just bounce right off.
Exactly.
And I think I found it somewhere where it says that Panda Energy, the people who own it, have a net worth of like $5 billion or something, or the company has $5 billion or something like that. So they're billionaires, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the
Well, yeah.
family, yeah.
The family's billionaires.
The family estate has billions of dollars.
Thank you. That's
Okay,
more.
so-
So then,
Going back to your point, only two billionaires have done
and
it.
they've both put out companies that
Have stayed around.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know why people are kind of like scoffing at the idea of like that this is a possibility. You
Yeah.
know, like this is something they could actually pull off. Like if they could have an actual like and this is the last question I want to talk about on this topic before we move on because we've spent a ton of time on it.
Sure
but,
have. Jeez.
but it's the thing that I'm most interested in this week because I've been thinking
Same.
about it, you know, and the one question I saw was, I listened to Jim Ross talk about it on his podcast that I think came out today. He was talking about it with Dave Meltzer. And both of them were, and we kind of already touched on it a little bit, but both of them were very firm on their stance that if this were to become a company, that All Elite Wrestling could not become a company that is, quote unquote successful unless they have an actual television deal, like with a major company, not like a pop TV, but something that everybody has if they have cable, not like a different package, like basic cable, or a network or something like that. Do you think that's still in 2018, about to be 2019, still the case?
No.
No, because I mean, Stranger Things is the biggest thing in the planet. Well, not the, but one of them when it
Yeah.
first came out, certainly.
Yeah.
Exactly, maybe like a year ago, but yeah,
And
it's still huge, totally.
that is no cable deal to speak of.
True.
I mean, it's a different show, different type of
program.
media. Yes.
I also think that people underestimate the revenue that touring brings in. Touring brings in an incredible, like, that is how musicians make their money.
And imagine if the WWE gave at least a little bit of effort into the house show programming.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
It's funny. I watched Starcade. And the one that they the recent one, not one of the old ones, the one they did that was last weekend, and
the hour of nonsense,
and it was literally a house show. And I thought to myself, this is what they're presenting to people at house shows? Like, this is why you see empty house shows then.
Because it's literally 20 minutes of Nia Jax and Alicia Fox screaming over each other.
The fact that they felt that was something worth including as opposed to one of the matches, like Asuka
any
or
match,
Charlotte.
a match?
Yeah. I was blown away. Like, even Ric Flair was standing there just like...
dicking around.
Confused. Like, what, this is this is what they're using me for here?
I don't even understand the play.
Rick's dance that he does.
Oh God, I can see that. That's my sleep paralysis nightmare. It's just that Ric Flair dance. Yeah, no, I don't.
You know.
They're not.
They too are.
Well, maybe with this, and we see the success. TV's sure that'd be great, but I do not think that
it's the end all be all.
No, I think that's a very old, antique perspective, to put it nicely.
Yeah. I feel the same
it's
way.
Not nice, but
No, but you're right.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, oh no, you don't get it.
It's it's that way thinking as opposed to forward thinking.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
I mean, there's a lot of promoters out there that still subscribe to that notion and could use some mental change.
I mean, like, even you've got a company right now where you're technically creating content with like huge names, and no one cares that it's not on television. The whole point is that it's on an app. Like, things are moving forward.
Sure.
You know?
And I don't think we ever will be on TV.
No,
I would hope not. I mean, you can take it with you. Like, that's the thing. Yeah, and I think VOD and like streaming and like all of that has provided a very accessible pathway to things like this. Oh my God, I want to work with them so badly. I'm like,
I also think
I keep coming up with ideas for them, and I'm like, I gotta keep it inside.
Yeah, you should.
I know.
Don't let them all out.
I literally, while we were speaking about, right after you said that thing about Cody, I like texted a co-producer, and I was like, I gotta talk to you about something.
No, but the touring aspect that you guys mentioned, I do think that like that if you could market, let's say, 4 all-ins for the year. We're gonna do these 4 all-ins and be in the elite in the weeks leading up. In the weeks in the in between is our show. They're not gonna watch wrestling. This is our show. Wrestlers don't have to work as much. They get a little bit of off time.
Title matches mean more.
I feel like these are all things that wrestling fans want. More story.
Have to do more than 4.
4 pay-per-views?
I don't think at first.
Sorry, 4 big events.
Pay-per-view. Yeah,
Sure.
events.
And then travel between.
Yes.
I mean, they'd have to do at least a show a month.
No, see, I don't think so because, like, and maybe I'm wrong here, but I look at it like this, right? What's better? A show a month where they sell 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 at most tickets, right?
Yeah.
Or like a thing every couple months where they sell like full arenas out with events with a full thing around it like Starcade where they all come up, everyone's making money. I feel like you make more out of that.
I just think that
than you do making these off events that are less important.
It seems like it may be hard to grow though because like
being the elite, you're watching the show.
Here's the thing about being the elite, though, and I was about to make a point about this, is yes, you can argue that, all the storytelling gets told on being the elite. If you really if you really stack up the numbers in terms of ticket sales, people that buy their merch, and then you go to their view count, it's much lower. It's considerably lower. No, it's a small number considered to how much their engagement is across every other thing.
300,000 is not terrible on
YouTube.
Considering their outreach
for $1 million.
Well,
Yeah,
I guess, yeah.
I guess brand deals, they could do brand deals.
Yeah.
It could be so much bigger than it is. And I think that in order to get the stories out more to a bigger audience, because right now the people that are there, because right now everybody, I don't think everybody got every single joke at All In. I don't think everybody did. I think a lot of them did connect for sure, but I think they can't rely on just their hardcore fans watching every single Being the Elite episode. I think they can't rely on that. I think they need to be able to get something that's a lot more. I mean, I can't say it's not accessible because it's on YouTube. Anybody can watch it. It's just that it's in a format and it's in a way of telling stories that's not really. I mean, because think about it. Yeah, they have other people involved, but who's really getting over at the end of the day on Being the Elite?
Dude, so many people gotten over at the end of the day.
But,
no.
Well,
Flip Gordon was relatively unknown.
Jordan Grace.
And he had been in Ring of Honor for a while. Adam Page had been in Ring of Honor.
But he's part of the Bullet Club. That doesn't count.
He had been he had been like in ROH for a while, and they brought him in.
At the end of the day, it's about okay. No,
but I'm saying they got him over. They got him over. They got SCU over.
It furthers their story.
Yes.
Not all those things further their story. SCU got over pretty because,
but they're always on camera. I mean, they're pretty much always on camera with them or plotting against them. They're like the bulk and skull of Being the Elite. They really are.
If we're talking about like what we talked about earlier, that these are going to be the competition. If this is going to be viable competition for the WWE, then they have to saturate the market just like the WWE did.
100%.
Every single week you can go on to the WWE and you can go on to USA and see a show. You see a wrestling show with the same people that you've seen every day. Even if you don't like it, you're going to watch it because it's what you do. It's your habit by this point.
I agree.
And if you're not getting that,
because and this is just me wondering, because I think I've noticed, and this is just pure speculation on my part, but one of the things that I see the Young Bucks and Cody, and actually everyone related to the Elite lately, one of the things I keep seeing them tweet about is like how long they're on the road, like how much time they don't get off. And it seems to me like they've been doing it for a reason. Like they've been not just complaining to complain because it's social media, because that's not really the thing. I honestly believe that they think wrestlers deserve more time off because like they're putting their bodies on the line. And I could see them saying, no, we get all these shows in the can where there's no wrestling on it. It's just what we've been doing.
Yeah, because they're performing.
Yeah, but you also don't need to see the same 4 people in order to make a company.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that's just like what you're saying. They're putting people over.
Yeah.
And so why can't you create factions that can, not factions like the way that wrestling is, just like groups of people that can put on a show every single week and you can circulate through your talent. You can give people time off.
Absolutely.
You can do that. You can do both.
Yeah, I mean,
get you a company that can do both.
If the Bucks, if the Bucks and Cody needed to be the focal point of every single episode, sure, you can make that argument. But if they're going to do it right, they shouldn't.
And I don't think they want to be. Like, that's the thing. And that's why they are not, I mean, from what I've seen from them and whatever, that's a huge gripe from them about the WWE is that the Bucks love their kids and they love their families and they want to be with their families. So I totally agree with you that they are leaning towards that for sure. But that doesn't mean that you can't see All Elite Wrestling every week.
Yeah, the company won't stop for them because of their personal schedules.
Do you think that they could?
They're the bosses.
So do you think then, if they wanted to have their own company, they couldn't just do Being the Elite every week? They'd have to have wrestling matches and stuff too?
Yes.
I do.
Interesting.
I do. Because it's wrestling. Like, you know, at the end of the day, it is professional wrestling, and the reason, the spirit of the Elite is that, like, they're back to, like, they're professional wrestlers, and they're, like, creating the business for themselves, and so you have to get that market. You have to get those fans.
If they do this right, they should be able to have an audience no matter if they're on the card or not.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, the talent that they get should be able to speak for themselves without the have to piggyback off of the Bucks and Cody.
All right. Well,
I just want to see it.
I just realized how long we've talked about this topic, so I do need
45 minutes.
I do want to talk about one more thing before we're
Drake Maverick peeing. So happy you said so. No, I'm kidding.
What?
No, I want to talk about this NXT UK contract situation because I saw everyone talking about it on social media.
So dumb.
So dumb, right?
Very dumb.
We're really going to talk. Okay.
You don't what?
What? You don't think it's dumb?
No, we're going to talk about it?
Why? Why not?
Well, it was
People are talking about
literally
it.
like everybody was
Okay.
talking about it this week. It was
right.
like one of the biggest stories of the week, Jamie, and we talk about the biggest stories of the week.
No,
here.
of course it's a big story, but I'm just saying, like,
We're going to talk about one of the biggest stories of the week
It
on this
seemed
new
like
show.
It seems like Pete Dunne kind of put it to bed.
Well, that's why we're going to talk about it, because I want to discuss that. So this week, it was reported that the talent that are involved with NXT UK, that some of the talent had new contracts that were offered to them that limited where they're allowed to work. For those of you who may recall, when NXT was first kind of became a thing. It's been like 2 years now, which is surprising. The fact that when the UK Championship tournament or whatever was announced, when that happened, Regal and Robbie Brookside and Triple H and everyone basically said, look we're not trying to roll into town and sign up all your talent and take them away from all the indie shows. We're coming in.
That's how the WWE was created. What are you talking about?
That's so many of the historian types said, at the time I remember even and especially
But
because
here
Vince,
are these blankets.
Well,
It's cold out there. You want to come inside?
well, even Vince McMahon, everyone, I saw where he initially worked with the other companies, hey, I'm going to make this show where you can all put your talent on here, and then he found the best talent and he took them. So, everyone at the time called it out. Everyone pointed it out, now that it's happened, now that it's come to fruition. But at the time, it was no, we're not. We're not trying to take anyone away from the indies. We're not trying to steal away talent. We're just trying to come in and help shine a light on this talent and help help build up the UK scene. And so now, fast forward 2 years, and now that they actually have a weekly television show, they all want to sign up everyone away and not let them work indies. Well, unless they're the WWE affiliated indies like Progress and Evolve. But I'm talking more with the UK ones ICW, WXW in Germany. So those ones are still allowed because they have a relationship with WWE. But I thought it was silly too because it's why are you hating on people for signing a contract? They're living their dreams. Why would you be mad about that?
That language is so funny that people use when they're talking about stuff like that. They're stealing talent. No, they signed a contract.
Yeah.
No, that talent that you are so precious about, they
made a
chose
choice.
that bag, And that's great. Wrestling is not a money-making business. If somebody's willing to pay you consistent money to do the thing that you're trying to do,
and be on a bigger stage than you've ever been
on a bigger stage and not have to hustle constantly. People who are giving them shit about this have never had to do the kind of work. I'm not talking about wrestling. Obviously, very few people do that, but have never had to live that carny life. And I can tell you, it's not fun.
No.
And so if somebody's hey, that thing that you struggle to make $20 to do every weekend, we're going to give you 300 times that on a daily basis just to stick with us. Hell yeah, dude.
Live
Take
comfortably.
that.
Yeah, take that money, dude.
Take that money.
Yeah, I'm right there to preserve your body.
You have a shot to one day be on WWE main roster.
to
Yeah.
main event WrestleMania. You're in the peripheral. You're in the family. I get it.
Entertain the masses too. They're entertainers. They want the biggest stage.
And you would think if you were an actual fan of that person,
Just watch them on NXT.
Yeah, you still have them just as accessible. And I get it. The gripe I saw with a lot of people was well, they're going to be stripped away of everything that's good. Well, that's not fair to say in the NXT side of things because most of the talent in NXT have kept
Recently, especially.
Yeah, have kept what has made them a thing.
I think Finn was the last guy that had to really change his name. Except for Heavy Machinery, because there was War Machine, because there's just so many machines already in the WWE.
Have you been watching Keith Lee?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
I enjoy Keith Lee. Me and Ryan are have different opinions about Keith Lee.
No, we don't. No, I just it's not that I don't like Keith Lee. I have trouble getting into Keith Lee because he's so nice.
He's so nice. But I think his gimmick works better for me in person.
Even in person, it's not that I don't want to come across like I don't like Keith Lee because I do like Keith Lee's matches.
You
I
hate
am
Keith Lee.
entertained by Keith Lee. It's just I'm not Keith Lee. 'Cause I'm he's not this tough badass. He's this nice guy who's telling you to look at him all the time. You know?
You know why I like Keith Lee?
I didn't even
Because
get the Bask in the Glory thing for a long time. They had to explain it to me.
I like a lot of Keith. Because you know why? I grew up and I knew a few Keiths. Mm-hmm. And Keiths are very individual people. They're very special people.
Yeah.
You don't know many. When you see a Keith, you're yeah, that guy's a Keith. Or it's almost not even Kyle, but what's another one of those weird names that not everybody has, but it sounds common when you hear it?
Craig.
Craig is another good one.
That's a Craig.
Yes.
I've known a couple Craigs where I'm yep, you're a Craig.
Yes, Craig. It's not a John, but it's almost there.
But that unmistakable individualism is something that I see.
Hunter's another one. Hunter's another one.
I will only ever see Triple H. But I think I see that in Pete Dunne so much. I see so much in him. He's so good.
Oh, he's great. And Triple H, you can tell Triple H is a huge fan.
Oh,
Triple
he
H,
loves him.
Yeah, Triple H talks so highly
He
of
was the
him.
focal point of the first tournament. Like, he was the only one given a whole storyline throughout the whole thing.
And I think that this is... before we switch off, because I want to switch topics at that point, in the pinpoint that you just mentioned there, in saying, Pete Dunne did kind of shut the whole shit down. Like, he tweeted and he said, British wrestling is safe, will continue to grow, the talent pool is deep, your favorite wrestlers are achieving goals and taking steps in their career, don't believe everything you read.
Yeah, and also, if you think that this is the last time you're ever going to see great British wrestlers, like, up and coming, like, there's a new one born every day.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
like-
it's like, it's just that like, well, there's not that many of them. No, just get out more.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? Go to a show.
And
what do you mean?
He also said another one that I liked. He said, without the hard work of myself and countless other wrestlers with the goal of signing to a major company, there wouldn't even be a thriving UK scene to begin with. Support independent wrestling and support independent wrestlers as they take the next step in their career.
How eloquent.
Yeah, he killed it on that one. I like it.
Amazing.
Can we all agree, though, now that, it's been reported that Walter is officially signed with WWE. NXT UK, not WWE.
Boy.
That is a man who belongs in the WWE.
Ooh, boy.
He has to be the one that finally beats Pete Dunne for the title, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you could sell that otherwise. Walter is a scary human being. And then when I found out he was German, he got somehow more scary.
Oh, somehow. I don't know why that somehow. He definitively got more scary.
One time at PWG, I went up to buy a shirt from him. And usually shirts are $20, so I had like a 20 on me.
Yeah.
And but because of like the bringing it over and the money, the changes and stuff, it was 30, and I didn't hear him. And I was like, "Oh, how much for a shirt?" And I think I thought he said 20, so I handed him a 20. He handed me a shirt. He said, "No, it's 30." And I got so scared. Like I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I don't have another $10." I had to like hand it back to him, like scurry away, scared.
What if it was 20 and he just said, "No, I want it to be 30 now"?
I need you to pay 30.
No, I found out from everyone after he charged 30 for a shirt. It was a cool shirt too. I wanted it.
Well, I mean, that's fair because how often is he in the States?
A lot.
Is he really?
Well, for PWG.
He's always here for PWG. Well, he's not anymore. He's not champion anymore, and he's clearly not going to be there anymore.
Ah!
Yeah.
I always feel this whenever this happens, and I'm like, I didn't buy a shirt.
That's why I went to go buy one of his shirts, because I had a feeling it was coming.
Yeah.
And then I was like, why don't I have that other 10? And then the next show was when he lost the title, and I was like, right when he lost the title, I was like, that was a little out of nowhere,
Yep.
a little rushed. He's probably signed.
Who's the next one that I should buy a shirt from? Who's next?
Who's your call
Jeff
up,
Cobb.
Ryan?
Jeff
Jeff
Cobb?
Cobb.
Jeff Cobb
Well,
for sure.
Well,
for
no,
sure.
but he just signed with ROH, didn't he?
What?
Yeah, no, he signed a deal with Ring of Honor, I think.
Oh, so
Come
he's not going
on,
up for
why?
a minute. He's not going. He didn't need to.
didn't
He's
need to
ready.
do that.
He's ready.
He's ready, but we know he's
Well,
ready, but they
I
don't
mean,
know he's ready.
I could see him. I could see it making sense. I mean, he has had chances. He has had he has been in front of WWE before, and they haven't necessarily picked him up. So I get it. Like
They weren't at Bola.
who wasn't Ebola?
WWE.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, they were. Regal was there.
Got a picture of Regal doing his little annual peek out the curtain thing.
And they still won't sign him? Come on. Okay, so if not Jeff Cobb, then who?
I'm looking at their roster right now.
Who do I need to buy a shirt from? Even if it's like bar wrestling or just anything, who should I buy a shirt from?
Trevor Lee was on the. Trevor Lee is going to be on the way.
Too much of a heel for me.
No,
he's wonderful and I love him.
The rumor mill, and I don't know how this confirms that ACH is one of the other ones that's maybe on the way.
Yeah, they're really. I've heard they're looking at ACH.
He's friends with a lot of dudes on the roster too.
Yeah, it would make sense.
It would make a lot of sense.
Same with Trevor Lee too. Like it
Oh,
makes
really?
sense. Yeah.
He's really good.
Other people who are at PWG.
He's not at PWG, and this is a completely different area. But do you think they look at Shane Strickland at all?
He's
hope
one of the
so.
other ones. That's one of the other ones. He's one of the other ones that's rumored to be in talks with them.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's one of the
just
other ones, for sure.
incredible.
That's the name that first came to mind when I was thinking.
I mean,
Yeah.
dude. If the rumor mill is true, and the next kind of like batch of announcements of signees, so to speak, even Walter's NXT UK, if it's like Walter, Trevor Lee, Shane Strickland, and ACH, and a few other people, like that's a banging class. But I go like, man, like that's a lot of people at the Performance Center with a 1 hour show. Like that's I don't understand how
The Performance Center's getting packed.
it's too packed.
Yeah,
It's
a lot of
getting
people.
busy.
Like, look, it took a year for Dijak to finally get a vignette,
Yeah.
and to finally them to like put some juice into him now that Undisputed Era is kind of like its own thing. Yeah, no, it's
You know who's really killing it, and I would love to see like his aesthetic in the WWE is Brody King.
I was literally just about to ask you if you thought, how long? I don't think he's ready yet.
I
don't
think
think
he
so
has
either.
I think it's like 3 years.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
He's getting there.
Oh,
he's,
for sure.
He's getting there.
I think he's definitely gonna rate. You know, with the indie scene kind of like so into who being signed right now. I think he's gonna be one of the who rises to the top of that scene.
Absolutely.
And then he's the next
and
class.
then he'll be the next. Yeah.
Yeah. I wish that.
I mean, he's just so young.
Was,
you know, he's still a baby.
Yeah.
I wish that it was Willie Mack, but they just
That's
too.
not happening.
I know he's too cool for them.
He is way too cool
He
for
very
this.
well
Too
may
cool.
be.
He is, because he's not gonna play. He's not gonna like play their game.
Yeah.
That is a
You
top
know?
10 that nobody's ever really made because there are a few people like Rob Van Dam is too cool for WWE.
Too cool for. I would love to see too cool for WWE list. Let's
Yeah.
Too cool for WWE.
Yeah, because
Willie
there's just
Mack
people who
is
just were
definitely
like, I
one.
don't need to do this. I can go
Yeah.
do
Well, that's
something else.
not what either of them did, though.
Well,
No, it's just like this is who I am as a person.
Yeah.
And you'll
Yeah.
never accept me. I had that
Like
moment a
Paul
while
London.
ago.
Paul London can be on that list.
Paul London is on that list indeed. I saw him last night at bar. What a good boy.
I like Paul London.
Cody could theoretically make that list.
Well, he was like,
He'll probably be number
he
one on that list
Was
at
in
the
there
end
and
of the
said,
day.
"I am too cool for this school," and then walked out.
He said, "Hey, did you know my dad's Dusty Rhodes and
Oh,
that
you did
I'm
know that?
awesome and that I'm really talented? Later's gonna go start my own company. Peace.
Peace, nerds.
Who's coming with me? Oh, Breeze, you got a contract still? Ty Dillinger, you got a contract for a few more years? All right, I'll wait for you. I'll wait for you guys. All right, Jamie, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at JAMIE_IOVINE or on Instagram at JAMIEIOVINE. And we have some fun drops coming up on
Ooh.
Network Live, if I may.
Yeah,
Talk about
you
this
may.
next very special one coming up. We got two very interesting ones. I'm very honored to announce that first. I'm just loading up I want to get the right times right, so I got to make sure. On December 1st at 5 o'clock, we are streaming the Alexander Wang Collection 2 fashion show, and we are
cool.
doing two drops from Alexander Wang.
What?
So that's
Really?
the capsule.
That's a huge deal.
That's a huge thing. So Alexander,
amazing.
that's happening on
That's rad.
December 1st at 5 p.m. Pacific. These are all Pacific time, by the way. And then this next one, which is really fun, December 4th at 7 p.m. we have Ninja. If you are fans of Fortnite, fans of esports, and at large, Ninja is joining us, and he is doing a product drop, which we will reveal very soon. And Lil Yachty is joining us as well with
wow.
Ninja. So
What a
that is
cool-
December 4th at 7 p.m. Tune in Pacific time.
What are the rules on the hookups?
I don't even get the shit.
Really?
No, because
you haven't gotten any of those things.
I have gotten. I didn't get the Odell Beckham shoes.
Really?
I didn't get the Ben Baller slides.
Really?
No. I only got the dumb good Freddy versus Jason stuff.
To be honest with you, that is the one that I was thinking. I was like, when it came out, I was like, I wonder if I can ask Jamie to pull one of those aside for me because that shit's dope.
We want to at this.
You
point,
want to sell them all? I get
every
it.
single one.
Yeah,
every
makes
single
sense.
one.
Of course, you're building.
But that's it.
so dope, though. That's really cool.
Thank you, appreciate
That's
it.
really cool. But
Yeah.
Alexander Wang thing, that's really cool.
That's a big
You
one.
told me that's
That's a
really
big
cool.
one.
Yeah.
I mean, like Ninja.
Yeah, that one. That's to the
I feel
whole.
like that was like the most reverse.
No,
thing
but
that
the
people
pop
ever think.
culture-
That
pop
the
culture
guy
at
went-
large-
That the guy went Alexander Wang and the girl went Ninja, the
know.
video game guy.
Yeah, that's really, really cool.
And I'm happy Yachty's going to be joining us as well.
That's more of a you thing.
A you thing.
Look, we're all covered. all of our bases.
Look how good the network is. You cover all your bases, you know. Rachel, where can people find you at?
Oh, you can find me at Rachel Sam Evans or Rachel Sam Vans. It depends on how your brain works on all platforms.
All of them.
Do it. Yeah, I have some shows coming out, but nothing. Don't worry about it.
And we're working on trying to figure out
Oh yeah.
what we're gonna do. To be honest with you, I would love to have
What's the name of the WWE video platform again?
WWE Network.
No,
Up, up, down, down?
No, the social media show.
Tout?
Tout.
Okay.
Are you on Tout?
Yeah, I'm on to check me out on Tout. No, but we're trying to figure out
You were working on it. You know, I was talking to Eli. I think last time we had Rachel on the show, when she left, Eli was like, we gotta have her in there more often on the weekly
agree.
show with us. So, but there's only 3 microphones here, so like that means Jamie or Eli would have to like switch. So I'm working on. I'm figuring it out.
It could be like the Eric Andre show, and I'll just like stand up. Just stand up. Well, you know how Hannibal has to stand up every time there's
Yeah.
a guest.
Well, like I know
there's
on
one
Collider,
chair.
well, like on Collider Live, they have people sit here and they have
I'll sit there. That looks
they have
much
one of
more
those other
comfortable than this chair.
microphones, but It'll drive me crazy if you're just sitting here like hovering over my
What if
shoulder.
I could have a free mic and I could just walk around the room?
That's what I'm saying. They have a free mic that the person who sits there has the free mic and he kind of just like sits back. But I don't trust you with that ability because you'll stop paying attention. If I have you sit in the corner, you'll for sure start texting. You won't be paying attention. As it is, it's tough to like keep his full attention, you know. So I can't trust him in the corner behind my shoulder. I gotta look at it. I gotta keep my eye on him.
I understand. We'll figure something out.
We're working on it.
So many people, you know, you guys have been really nice. So many people have tweeted me about it, and they're like, what are you doing? Like,
be on the show more.
Will you just like do something? And I'm like, I'm sorry, you're right.
Yeah, we're working on it. You know, like
Hey, what do you want to hear?
Yeah,
right?
let us know what you want to hear. I know what I want to hear. I want Rachel to do more indie stuff, but I just want Rachel to do more stuff on the network in general, and the feed and the YouTube channel. So I'm working on it. I promise.
Thanks, man.
These things take time, everyone. I'm working on it. I'm only one man. I'm doing my best. I'm trying to hire people. I'm like right there on that. I have the people in mind now, so I'm there. I'm getting closer, everyone. Things are happening. So stay tuned for those kind of things. We will hopefully have more news in the future, and hopefully continually have Rachel sitting in every time, especially when Jamie and Eli aren't here. I'm bringing her in every time. Sorry.
Hell yeah, dude.
Sorry, Kevin. Okay, that's it. We're done. Officially tapping out for now. Until next time, stay out of the dirt and keep your eye on the sheet.
On Collider.